You ever stumble across a passion project that's so detailed, so ridiculously well crafted, that it basically becomes its own little world? Well, that's what we're looking at today. It's called the CCC database. And trust me, it's way more than just a spreadsheet. This is a whole, self-contained, fictional sports universe with years of history, bitter rivalries, and stats so deep you could get lost in them. So, let's jump right in.
Here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll look at the blueprint of this data-driven world. Then, we'll trace the league's history, see what trophies they're all fighting for, and meet some of the star teams. After that, we'll get into a massive rule change that shook everything up. And finally, we'll discover the personality behind this amazing project.
All right, so before we can really appreciate the epic seasons and the nail-biting championship games, we need to understand the map. This entire universe is built on a foundation of pure data, and its structure is the key to unlocking all of its secrets.
And the creator, well, they lay it out right from the very beginning. In the world of the CCCO, the numbers are everything. This isn't just some casual fantasy league. It's a world where every single run, every wicket, and every victory is tracked and recorded forever, creating this undeniable permanent record of who was great and who wasn't. Now, what's so cool here is just how organized it all is. Seriously, think of it like a library. The master stat sheet, that's the biography section for every single player. Tournament history, those are the history books chronicling every season. Team statistics are like the club encyclopedias, and match logs are the moment-by-moment reports from every single game. It's just a beautifully constructed system.
So how did this league even come to be? Well, it didn't just appear fully formed overnight, it evolved. It made some mistakes, and it grew over 5 really distinct seasons, starting as a pretty simple idea and becoming the complex competition it is today.
The whole journey kicks off in 2017, the founding year, with just 2 tournaments. Then, in Season 2, we get a little drama, a controversial move to get rid of the playoffs, which proves that even a fictional sports league has its administrative squabbles. But Season 3, that's where the modern era really begins, adding 2 new cups to create the Ford Trophy season they have now. And it all builds up to Season 5, which we'll get to in a bit, that just completely rewrote the rulebook. Okay, so we've got the history down. But what are these teams actually fighting for? See, a CCO season isn't just one long league. It's a series of 4 completely different tournaments, each with its own format, its own style of cricket, and its own shiny trophy at the end.
First up, you've got the Reboot Cup. This is pure high-octane T20 knockout cricket. It's win or go home, simple as that. It used to have a group stage, but they streamlined it into this ruthless playoff bracket, which means every single match is do or die.
Next is the Duality Cup, and this is a total change of pace. We're talking 50 over, one-day international cricket. This is the long game, a real test of a team's strategy, their batting depth, and whether their bowlers can last. It's a completely different kind of challenge. Then we have the BBL. This is the OG, the league's original T20 competition. Here, teams have to grind it out through a 7-game group stage, and only the top 4 make it to the playoffs. You have to be consistent to win this one. And finally, we have the crown jewel, the Test Championship. This is the Super Cup, the Clash of the Titans. It's one single epic test match between this year's BBL champion and last year's champion. This is all about proving who the true dynasty is.
And this is a perfect example of what one of those tournament runs looks like. Check this out. In Season 3, the Jets came in as the 6th seed. Nobody expected much from them. But in a knockout tournament, seeding goes out the window. They knocked off the 3rd seed, then the 7th, and in the final, they took down the #1 team in the league, the Cyclones, to win it all. It's a classic underdog story told entirely through the data.
So we've seen the structure, we've walked through the history. But a league is nothing without its stars, right? Now let's meet the digital athletes, the teams and players that bring this whole spreadsheet to life and create the rivalries that make the CCOCs so compelling. And you know, every great league needs a legendary rivalry. Well, in the CCCO, it's all about the Cyclones versus the Bashers. Just look at the tail of the tape here. They are tied, dead even, with 5 trophies each. The Cyclones have a slightly better win rate, sure, but both of these teams are clearly the giants of this league. When they face off, it is a battle for supremacy.
And this right here, This is where the sheer depth of this project just blows my mind. This is just a tiny snapshot of one team, the Cyclones. But we can zoom in on any player and see their entire career. Take Paul Adams, for instance. The database tells us he's a batsman with 887 career runs, a massive high score of 146, a solid average of almost 32. He's hit 69 fours, 25 sixes. And this incredible level of detail exists for every single player. It is staggering.
Now, if we pull back a bit, this chart gives us the big picture. And you can see it plain as day. The Cyclones and the Bashers have basically hoarded all the trophies, winning 10 of the 13 ever awarded. Yeah, teams like the Crushers, Falcons, and Jets have each had their one moment of glory, but for everyone else, the main challenge in this league is just trying to break the dominance of the top two.
Okay, so for 4 seasons, the world of the Ccco was all about on-field performance. That's it. But then season 5 arrived, and it was a seismic shift. The creator added all these new layers of management and realism that basically turned the league from a sports sim into a full-blown franchise management game.
4 major additions just flipped the entire script. First up, finances. All of a sudden, teams had budgets and players had salaries. Second, home stadiums, which created a real home field advantage. Third, trading became possible, allowing for blockbuster deals. And finally, free agency, creating an open market where teams could sign new talent or cut players who weren't performing. And right here, you can see that new system in action. You've got players hitting free agency, guys like Ollie Watkins hanging it up and retiring, and massive trades going down. Look at this. Barry Yeoman gets traded from the Pirates to the powerhouse Cyclones, while Benjamin Trees goes from the Cyclones to their biggest rivals, the Bashers. The off-field drama is now just as important as the on-field results. You know, for all the meticulous data and all the complex systems, you have to remember that this database is ultimately the work of one really passionate creator. And if you look closely enough, you can find these awesome little hints of the personality and the sense of fun that drove this whole project. Okay, I absolutely love this. Hidden away in the database introduction is this disclaimer, written in glorious, unapologetic, all caps. It's such a fantastic, lighthearted moment that just screams, hey, this is all for fun, people. The creator takes the simulation seriously, but not too seriously, you know? And get this is what that joke sheet is. The creator actually built an entire simulated betting system with odds generated by an AI just for their own entertainment. You can even see a bet slip here for the Duality Cup final where a fan correctly picked the Cyclones to win but missed on their other picks. The dedication to building out every single piece of the fan experience is it's incredible. And that really leaves us with a fascinating question, doesn't it? When a simulated world has this much history, this much statistical depth, and this much raw passion poured into it, it really starts to feel real. The Ccco database is an amazing testament to modern fandom and creativity, and it shows that sometimes the most compelling sports stories are the ones we write for ourselves.